That innocent bowl of cereal your teen just ate, it's flooding their mitochondria with sugar, seed oils, and stress before 9 a.m. Their cells are already screaming for help, and it looks like insulin resistance. Let me show you what's really going on inside. Okay, my name's Marc Bates. I'm a metabolic health coach, and this is part of my question and answer series. This breakfast destroys your mitochondria before lunch. So let's look at the question. You mentioned that insulin resistance is the real problem starting long before glucose rises, and you call this a mitochondria problem. Can you walk me through exactly what's happening at the cellular level when a teenager consumes what you'd consider a typical American breakfast? Well, yes, absolutely. Let's walk through what's happening at the cellular and mitochondrial level when a teenager consumes a typical American breakfast. Let's say a frosted cereal with skim milk, a banana, orange juice, maybe a granola bar or Pop Tart. This type of meal is high in carbohydrates and seed oils, but low in protein and fat. Alright, so the first thing is they get a massive glucose surge. This is from the refined carbs from the cereal, plus all the carbs from the juice, banana, and granola, rapidly converting to glucose. Blood glucose spikes, often well above 140 milligrams a deciliter, within 30 to 60 minutes. The pancreas releases a large amount of insulin to shuttle that glucose into cells, especially muscle and liver. Insulin spikes are normal, but not this frequent, not this high, nor this early in the day. Next is a mitochondrial glucose overload. Once inside the cell, glucose enters the mitochondria to be burned for ATP energy, but here's the problem. High glucose floods glycolysis, forcing excess pyruvate into mitochondria. The mitochondria can't burn it fast enough, so they convert some to lactate, which builds up. Push acetyl-CoA toward lipogenesis, fat creation in liver and muscle, and spill electrons from the electron transport chain, generating reactive oxygen species, ROSs, which equal oxidative stress, which leads to damage to proteins, lipids, and mitochondrial DNA. Next, you get mitochondrial insulin resistance. When the mitochondria are under constant energy excess and oxidative stress, the insulin signaling pathway becomes blunted. The cell basically says, we have enough fuel, no more glucose, please. So it downregulates insulin receptors and glucose transporters, like GLUT4. This is the beginning of insulin resistance. The cell is trying to protect itself from more energy, not failing due to laziness or genetics. Dr. Chris Palmer calls this a brain energy imbalance. In his book Brain Energy, noting that impaired mitochondrial function disrupts not only physical metabolism, but also mood, cognition, and mental resilience. Okay? Next, you get lipid toxicity from seed oils. That same breakfast likely contains canola, soybean, or sunflower oil in the granola bar or cereal. Linoleic acid, and omega-6 PUFA, gets incorporated into mitochondrial membranes. This has two devastating effects. One, it weakens the mitochondrial structure, making them more fragile to ROSs. And two, it promotes cardiolipin damage, disrupting ATP production and mitochondrial signaling. This is why researchers like Dr. Chris Nabi and the Ancestral Diet Revolution authors argue that seed oils are the primary metabolic poison and of the modern food supply. Okay, there are no satiety signals, and ghrelin and leptin are disrupted. Because the breakfast lacks proper protein and proper fat, and the micronutrients that come with them, like magnesium, zinc, or B12, there's no leptin response, and ghrelin, the hunger hormone, stays elevated. This leads to cravings mid-morning, that sugar roller coaster where you need more snacks in the middle of the day, overeating at lunch, and evening binge behavior, often with ultra-processed snacks. Next, you get a liver overload, right, and de novo lipogenesis. So the liver takes excess glucose and converts it to palmitic acid, which gets stored as fat, especially visceral fat around the organs. This drives fatty liver, elevated triglycerides, and increased hepatic insulin resistance. Dr. Ben Bickman, in his book Why We Get Sick, shows how insulin resistance often starts in the liver, long before glucose ever rises in a blood test. Okay? Quickly, here's a summary of the cellular effects after one high carb, low fat meal. So you get from the pancreas a hypersecretion of insulin. In the bloodstream, you get a glucose spike followed by a crash and then hunger. In the muscle and liver cells, you get overloaded mitochondria, which generate ROS, which generate insulin resistance. In the mitochondria themselves, you get oxidative stress, which provides disrupted signaling and cardiolipin damage. In the brain, the ghrelin-leptin dysregulation occurs, which creates cravings, fatigue, and poor focus. Right? In the liver, you get lipogenesis, which is fat accumulation and early non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And in the fat cells itself, the insulin locks fat in cells, blocking lipolysis, which is your ability to burn the fat instead of storing it. So, you repeat this daily, and what do you get? Early insulin resistance, fatty liver, ADHD-like symptoms, prediabetes, mood swings, and anxiety and cravings and obesity. And it all starts with what is still marketed as a balanced breakfast. All right, everybody. Thank you. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the appropriate section. This is a community. We're here to try to answer your questions. If there's something I haven't covered in a video recently that you want to know more about, let me know. Give me an idea of what to do for you to help you. I'm here to provide those answers as much as I can. All right, and if you haven't done so, please like, share, subscribe this video. It helps the channel a great deal, and I thank you for that. And you'll be surprised how many other people you can help with this information. Thank you.